What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another episode of Player Ratings. Fulham 0, Tottenham 1. In a performance which wasn't the most vintage, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it was job done at the end of the day, and 3 points on the board.
3 points is 3 points, and we're back in the race for the top four.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's one thing.
Back in the race for the top four, 9 points behind second, Manchester United. They play Man City this weekend. We play Palace, and we've got a game in hand. So, I mean, it's not all doom and gloom, is it?
Yeah, if we can beat Palace with Everton playing Chelsea, United playing City, as you said, then it really could put us in a decent position. All of a sudden, the table looks very, very different, and that's what a run of wins could do. So we just need to get that win against Palace on Sunday and continue this consistency and momentum. All
right, well, let's get into the player ratings. Let's start off with Hugo Lloris. We gave him an 8. And these are the performances we love to see from Hugo Lloris. I mean, he's come under a lot of criticism the last couple of weeks. And I think this game, he was back to his best, I mean, he wasn't called upon that much, but what he was called upon, he did very well. There was that one real good shot that he tipped over the bar. I'm not sure if it was going in hitting the bar, but albeit it was a really good save. And what really impressed me is the way he was commanding from crosses and corners as well, because that really relieved pressure from us in the second half.
Yeah, he made 2 really good saves. One of them from Anderson. Oh, well, actually 3 good saves. One of them from Alderweireld from the following corner from following Anderson, and then also just before the VAR check, he actually made a really good save from Lamina in a very, very close range, and everyone kind of forgets about that because straight after that there was the goal. But I thought he had a really competent and commanding display yesterday. Very happy for him after all the criticism that's happened over the past few weeks, and I thought he a timely reminder of the qualities he has.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Let's move on to Matt Doherty, who gave him a 5. I mean, it's a difficult one with Matt. I thought that in the first half not in the first half, but in the majority of the game, he was out of position. I thought he didn't really contribute too well going forward. I thought his end product was quite poor, to be honest. But look, I think it's still better than what he was showing maybe 3 months ago, but still not good enough in my opinion.
Yeah, a bit of an improvement again. I think in terms of from where he originally was, I agree with you there. Wasn't the best display. I thought attacking-wise, whenever he got forward, there was a lack of quality on the ball. I did feel like in the first half, he was pressing really well with Bale, and I felt like on the left-hand side, he was pressing really hard up the pitch, and they were struggling to deal with that. But in the second half, he got completely overrun once Bale started tiring, and Robinson was pretty much given the free rein.
I just feel he's too sloppy, man.
First of all, sloppy passes as well. That's definitely something he has to cut out because it's very frustrating. But I felt like defensively, in the second half at times, he was really bad, but other times he was okay. He dealt with it okay. But I felt he's always someone you can get at. That's just the feeling. And Robinson, I felt, was just having the freedom on the left-hand side to take him on. And he was really struggling with that. And Lookman as well. A few times Lookman got on the wrong side of him, and Sanchez had to bail him out. So that he has to improve in that way. But he wasn't a complete liability, but he just wasn't good enough.
I felt that as the game wore on, he was growing in defensive stature.
I thought he was better in the first. I thought first half he was all right, and then the back end of the first half. I remember the Robinson one that went on that mad run, didn't he? Right at the end of the first half, that set up that Lamina chance, and he just breezed past Doherty. It wasn't there, and then he kind of brought that into the second half.
Yeah,
and then the second half, the first half an hour, he was really poor. But then he kind of for last half an hour, he kind of he was all right. He was all right.
All right, let's move on to Davinson Sanchez. We gave him an 8. The second 8 we've given Davinson Sanchez. Well, we gave him a 9 last week. So
we did.
Second top score that we're giving Davinson Sanchez in the space of a week. And yeah, I was impressed with Davinson yesterday. He was a bit of a man mountain. I mean, what's so frustrating about Sanchez is we've said it time and time again how he has all the tools to be a top centre-back. I mean, he shows it sometimes, but the majority of times it's just his concentration levels and are not there. But I think the last 2 games they have been there. Very impressed with Sanchez. As you said, he bailed out Doherty a few times in the game, winning headers. Really, really competent display from Davinson. But for me, that chance, that failed clearance that led to the goal that was ruled out by VAR is a blot on his performance. But luckily for him, it was ruled out. But apart from that, I thought he did most of the things called upon him.
Yeah, he was really aggressive. I thought his defensive timing was really good. I thought a few moments, Lookman was one-on-one with him and he dealt with it really well. And a few moments he was being really aggressive in terms of his... it was not what's it called, it wasn't reactive, it was proactive defending. He was doing a lot of that yesterday. That's what I was really happy with. Passing wise, he wasn't so he had a bit of composure about him. He wasn't the best of quality, but he wasn't just giving the ball away aimlessly, which was good as well. Apart from that one moment, as you say, he was off balance while he was clearing the ball, and he gave it away completely to the Fulham player Maja or Lamina, and he got away with that one. But I'm going to stay positive because I thought overall it was a really good display from him and he contributed well to the clean sheet.
All right, and let's move on to his partner, Toby Alderweireld. We gave him an 8 as well. I thought it was really cool, calm, composed from Toby. Exactly what Davinson Sanchez needs alongside him. And I always feel Davinson always plays better when he has a Toby Alderweireld next to him, the cool, calm head. I thought he dealt with pretty much the majority of things that came his way, and not too much to note, to be honest. I thought he was trying to relieve pressure as well from the back with his pings out of the top. So yeah, good performance from Toby.
Yeah, really impressed again with him and Sanchez together. Another good display from both of them.
It's also worth mentioning his third game in a week as well.
Yeah, and he didn't show any signs of slowing down, which was very positive. I thought he had a really good display. He was managing Sanchez throughout the game as well. So I think you got to say he barely put a foot wrong. I don't remember too many bad things he did. He didn't have those kind of Toby pings throughout the game, but didn't need to for most of it. And I thought he had a pretty good game.
Yeah. Which moves on to Ben Davies. We gave him a 5 as well as Matt Doherty. And I thought it was a bit of a similar performance, to be honest. I thought that he didn't contribute anything going forward whatsoever, Ben Davies. Defensively, I thought at times he was good, but also at times he was also caught out of position. So I thought this game would have been a much different story if he had Reguilon there. But it wasn't to be. We got the 3 points, and at the end of the day, close this book on this performance and move on.
Yeah, I think he's allergic to the opposition half, isn't he, Ben Davies? He can't really, just doesn't want to go anywhere near it.
I don't know if that's under instruction or to do with him. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I thought Cavallera was giving him a few problems, and they were giving us a few problems down that side. But I thought defensively he was okay. But going forward, he just offers absolutely nothing, doesn't he? Absolutely nothing. And on the ball, his quality wasn't great either. I think he did help tuck in for Sanchez a lot of the time, but a few times I remember they played the ball over to their right-hand side, our left-hand side, and he's just so far off it. He has so much ground to make up. And I don't know if he's covering inside for Toby or what, but he seems like it takes an age for him to get out to the man and stop the cross and stuff, and giving way too much space, I felt. And yeah, I felt like if Reguilon was there, it would have been a different story. But he didn't do too much wrong, but it was, again, just an average performance.
Let's move on to Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. I felt that in that first half was a proper midfield general's display. I thought he was absolutely brilliant in that first half, stopping everything through that centre, really stamping his authority through the game, recoveries. So look, really good display in the first half. I felt in that second half our midfield did get overrun, and I felt that we needed that extra man in the middle. We didn't get that until quite late in the game. So I thought that Hojbjerg kind of drift out of that game in that second half, and that's why we gave him a 7.
Yeah, I felt like he was good in the first half, and then once Ndombele started tiring, didn't he? He kind of was struggling to power all the fires that were starting, and Reedon and Lamina, and when Nguitha came on, started really growing an influence in the game, especially Reed, who finished it really strongly, and he was struggling to kind of deal with everything. But once Sissoko came on and Ndombele went off for Lamela, I think he started to improve again, and he started to get a lot more settled again, and he was able to do play his game. I thought in the first half, I agree with you, he was really, really good. Big reason why we were setting up so many attacks in the transitions is because of him winning the ball in really dangerous positions in midfield. But I felt like, it was difficult for him for a lot of the time in that second half. But once he got the support, he was okay.
Let's move on to Tanguy Ndombele. We gave him a 6. Let's be honest, it wasn't his best display in a Spurs shirt. I thought it was some really good moments in there, but also some not good moments in there. I saw at times he was just being completely suppressed by the Fulham midfield, and they were just easily getting past him at some stages. But he did put in his defensive contributions as well, apart from that, and I felt that he was always trying to make stuff happen, but sometimes it just wasn't happening for him on the day. The one time where he did get a really good ball in there for Harry Kane, could have got a penalty, but I don't think it was a penalty at the end of the day. But it was a really nice ball to Harry Kane. And then he tired off in that second half and ultimately got taken off.
Yeah, I felt like we struggled a lot while he was struggling himself. That was a big element to the team's seeding control. I felt, because I felt when in the first half, when he was on top of it physically, he was getting those little interceptions and those little tackles in the centre of the park and those recoveries, which was helping us build. And he was playing the ball quickly to the attackers, and that was good. But once he started to tire and we started losing legs in that midfield, they really started to dominate. And that was a big part of that. As you said, that was a good ball to Kane for that through ball. He had a few other nice dribbling moments, as Tanguy always does, a few occasions in the game. But it was worrying how quickly he did tire, and I thought when he did go off eventually after 70 minutes, it was probably a bit late. Even he could have been taken off before then. And Lamela
because
made
we were
a
losing
big
that
difference.
midfield battle that whole of the second half.
And we needed that Lamela to come on. And once we had Lamela on, that energy he provided us, it helped us a lot to see out the game.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Heung-Min Son. We gave him an 8. A really good display from Heung-Min, I believe, and I think that it's this what we talked about the last couple of games. His role's kind of changed. He's not that kind of finisher anymore. He's that creator, and that's exactly what he did. That cross with the outside of his foot was absolutely scrumptious, man.
Beautiful.
I mean, the balls that he plays now are really, really inviting. They're really, really direct and really pinpoint as well. So I'm loving the display from Heung-Min Son. He frightens defences. His link-up play was second to none with Dele Alli and Harry Kane and what have you. So I think Heung-Min Son, a lot of people are arguing about his performances at the moment just because he's not scoring, and I think that's a bit lazy because I think he's putting in really good performances.
Yeah, and he got the assist for the goal as well. Really nice run.
Not officially.
Yeah, I'm
he was unlucky not to get
He was an assist. So stupid. I thought that was definitely a Dele goal, but I agree.
It's not what your fancy league team tells you.
I know. So gutted. But I thought Son did really well. I thought he created our best 2 chances of the game. I thought he was a constant threat down the left-hand side, and I agree, despite his goal threat maybe not being as much as it was over the past few weeks, his creativity has stepped up big time. He's providing really good crosses in the box, really good delivery, real good quality out there on the left wing. So if he's not scoring, he's assisting, and with Bale and Dele and Lamela coming into it, and Lucas as well in terms of scoring, to ease the burden off him, that's what we've been asking for. So we can't criticise him for becoming more of a creator in the past few weeks when he's been stepping up goal scoring wise, and now he's setting up for others who are scoring. So I thought he was a really good display from him again, Sonny. And if other players can step up, he can do that creator role, no problem.
Yeah. Moving on to Dele Alli, we gave him a 7. And, his first performance, his first start since the opening game of the season against Everton. And, we all know what Dele Alli can produce. And that's why we've been so annoyed, because the last 2 years, he just hasn't been producing it. And we know exactly what he can produce. And I felt that he did that definitely yesterday. I thought his pressing from the front was really good. Probably, in terms of our team, probably our best pressing player in the whole team. He won the ball back. He had the most tackles in our team out of anyone. I think it was 4 tackles. Very unlucky not to get on the score sheet, because I believe it should have been his goal. And a really good performance all round. He was putting himself about. He looked happy on the pitch. He was providing positively. And I thought out of him, Son, Kane, Bale, probably him and Son were definitely our best attacking outlets.
I agree. I thought it was an impressive display from Dele. I thought he tired pretty quickly in the second half. Yeah. Unfortunately, maybe due to the lack of minutes he's had. But I thought he was very aggressive in that attacking third. He was getting really good tackles. They were leading to chances. He was creating things. He created a really good chance for Son as well, whose header at the back post went just wide. That was a good chance. And obviously he was involved in the whole starting the move and finishing it off as well with the goal. Yeah. Really good play from him, getting it to Son quickly out wide and following his run late into the box. And obviously he got a touch on the ball, but unfortunately the Premier League say it was going wide, so he hasn't been given the goal, which is a shame. But I thought he had a really good game overall, and I can't wait to see more of him from now to the end of the season. Hopefully he can have really positive impact. We've got a lot of games and we're going to need him. Exactly.
So a step in the right direction for Dele, that's for sure. Let's move on to Gareth Bale. We gave him a 5. Didn't hit the heights as he has done the last couple of games. I thought that there were some good moments in there. Obviously, he started the move for our goal with a nice ball from deep into Dele Alli, who played it to Heung-Min Son, then played it back to Dele. So that was a good point. But I felt that he was just struggling to influence the game in any sort of way, to be honest.
Yeah, his touch seemed a bit off it. unfortunately. And I thought in the first half he was working well with Doherty, but in the second half he failed to track back quite a lot, and it was leaving Doherty very exposed. And once the press was not as functional, then we did start to get very exposed, and I think Bale was a big part of that. Yeah, I agree with you. It was a really good move for the goal. He jinked in between two players, wriggled away, and played a very quick ball into Dele Alli to set up the attack, and that was what led to the goal. And I thought he was linking up quite well with the front four, but he definitely was nowhere near his best. And unfortunately, a few times the ball was given to him in decent positions and his touch let him down. And ultimately, I thought when he was taken off, it was fair.
Yeah, which moves us on to last of the starting 11, Harry Kane. We gave him a 6. In terms of Harry, I thought it wasn't his best display by any stretch of the imagination. I felt that he did seem a bit off it some ways. Definitely his finishing, that's for sure, because he had 2 chances, and an on-form Harry Kane will gobble up those chances for absolute fun. And I thought those moments are the moments that put us in a really hard position in that second half, because if he scores those chances, or even one of those chances, it relieves a lot of pressure on us. He didn't do that, but apart from that, I thought that his link-up play was good. I thought he was putting himself about, but I did feel like at times he did seem a bit sluggish.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe in front of goal he seemed sluggish. I thought during the game in general play, I thought he was pretty good. I thought his passing, as always, was very good. He was pinging some really great balls to the wide positions and in dangerous areas, and I thought he did well. He's unlucky not to get a penalty as well, collecting that Ndombele through ball and taking a touch inside Aina, who clearly clipped him, I think, but the referee didn't see if there was enough in it. Maybe not, but he could have been a penalty, and he was unlucky on that one. And obviously the 2 chances, the first one, great ball by Son, outstanding ball by Son, and he's got so much time. He could have even taken it down in his chest if he wanted to. He could have done anything and decided to take
header, wasn't it?
Yeah, really poor header, weak header. That was the thing. There wasn't a lot of power on it, and it was straight at Areola, and he'd be very, very disappointed looking back at that. And the second one was a bit harder, but again, a striker of Kane's quality. He's got one little look up. He can see the keeper coming out. If he goes a bit higher, he can get it into the roof of the net. But unfortunately, Areola came out quickly to snap at it and saved it. It was a very good save, good keeping, but Kane will be disappointed there. And it did put us under a bit of pressure, but I thought in general he was pretty good.
All right, and the substitutes, we're not going to give them a rating because we're just not. Dele Alli went off 67th minute for Moussa Sissoko. Gareth Bale went off for Lucas Moura in the same minute. How do you assess Sissoko and Moura?
Sissoko took a while to get into the pace of the game, but once he did, he was a good asset to us. I thought he came on and it didn't kind of stem the flow up until like about 5 minutes or 10 minutes after he came on.
Didn't notice he was on until quite a while.
He was very anonymous for a bit, wasn't he? Lucas, I think, did a good job helping out Doherty because Bale was not giving him as much protection as Lucas did, and Lucas did a good job there.
He seems to have a bit of confidence about him, Lucas, at the moment, doesn't he?
He didn't really do much attacking wise, but I thought in terms
himself about though.
Yeah, in terms of tracking back Robinson, who was being a big threat the longer the game went on, I thought he did a good job there, and Robinson had to end up going off, which shows what a good job Lucas did. And then obviously Lamela came on for Ndombele later in the game, and I thought he was really positive.
Yeah, I mean, he provided us that energy that we needed at the time of the game, because Tanguy was tiring and the sub probably should have made about 15 minutes before it actually did. But I thought the change did happen, and eventually, and I thought it pretty much won us the game. It kind of helped us see out the game with that Lamela energy going forward.
Yeah, and that run that he for that nearly set up Harry Kane.
Similar to the run he did against Burnley as well.
Yeah, it was fantastic. They couldn't get near him. Like he's upped his dribbling game recently. I feel Lamela. He used to be able to maybe go past one player, but then he wouldn't have that raw pace or strength to kind of hold off a second or third. But the last few games, he really has, and it's been very, very impressive. He also got to think about that run against West Ham as well in the first half. He went about 2 or 3 players and set up Harry Kane. So recently he's been upping that element of his game, which he had at Roma, but has never really showed it here, that dribbling element. And obviously he set up a really good through ball for Harry Kane, who nearly scored the second goal. So really good cameo again by Lamela. And we've always said it, when he comes off the bench, he always makes a look a difference. Past a couple of years, he's done a really good job doing that.
When he comes on for tiring legs, it just makes such a difference because he provides so much in terms of energy and just direct play. So
been in good form recently, Lamela.
Yeah, exactly. Jose Mourinho, what do you assess out of him? For me,
like a 7.
Yeah, for me, I think that in hindsight, you probably don't want to start with Doherty and Davies in the same lineup.
Yeah.
I think that was a down mark in his kind of starting lineup, but
He
he gave us the front four that we all wanted: Dele, Bale, Son, Kane. Albeit it wasn't kind of what we all expected. We thought probably we'd score a few more goals with them on the pitch. But I thought first half, can't really complain. Second half, a lot to complain about. But ultimately, we got 3 points.
Yeah, I think we started the game really well in the first half. I thought we got it spot on in terms of the tactics. We could have been 1 or 2 goals up at least in that first half. We weren't. I think the second half brought a lot of problems, which he didn't notice quick enough, or whether he did, and he just didn't felt like we could ride the storm. Unfortunately, it nearly cost us with the equaliser, but we got a bit of luck with that. And then I think he did change it well in a positive way. He made a few changes which gave a bit more energy to the team, and we didn't get overrun as much. And the pressing came back a bit. And ultimately, I think the late changes won us the game in the end of that last 15 minutes, because we were completely being overrun. So good marks there. Could have done a bit better with the game management in the first bit of the second half. But other than that, I thought it was you change the squad and we end up getting the win. So good day for Spurs and for Jose.
Yeah, definitely. So that is it. That is our player ratings. We move on to Crystal Palace at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Sunday, 7:15 kickoff. Join us for the live watch long and the post-match fan show, kicking off the live streams from around 7 o'clock on Sunday. So come and join us. Those are our player ratings. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree. If you disagree, let me know your ratings in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.